Please subscribe.
Four years after Porsche demonstrated to us the first Mission E idea, the 2020 Taycan is at last here, in front of its open debut at the 2019 Frankfurt Motor Show. Porsche's new EV touches base on the impact points of various mysteries, a hatchback idea that we later drove, and the development of another plan to manufacture the organization's first battery electric vehicle. A lot of testing enabled it to guarantee a record lap time around the Nürburgring's Nordschleife for a four-entryway electric vehicle. We've even gone for a ride in a model. Likely considerably progressively essential to purchasers is that there'll at last be a genuine option in contrast to the Tesla Model S that has ruled the enormous extravagance electric vehicle perch. Regardless of whether Porsche will almost certainly release Tesla's stranglehold on the fragment stays to be seen, yet appealing looks, gonzo execution and a tech-loaded lodge seem to place the Taycan in the situation to do only that when it goes at a bargain in the not-so-distant future. Outwardly, Porsche planners had the option to continue a sound dating of structure characteristics from the Mission E idea to the generation Taycan. The outside's dug-in position, low-inclining front end, articulated bumpers, flush entryway handles and persistent backlight strip all make the cut. 4-point LED daytime running lights are likewise part of the bundle. At dispatch, the Taycan will be offered in a turbo trim riding on 20-inch wheels, and Turbo S detail that gets standard carbon fiber trim and sits on 21-inch wheels. Truly, we understand it's sad to utilize Turbo and Turbo S on a vehicle that doesn't utilize turbochargers, or, an inner burning motor, with the drag coefficient of 0.22. The Taycan Turbo has the most minimal drag of any vehicle in Porsche's present creation lineup. Full underbody framing additionally adds to its dangerous optimal design. The Taycan Turbo S is marginally less proficient at slicing through the air, with a 0.25 drag coefficient. At its center, the Taycan's body is worked from a blend of steel and aluminum consolidated with a wide range of welding forms, screws, bolts and cements. Increasing traveler well-being is hot-shaped steel for the body's columns, side rooftop casing and seat crosspart, and boron steel for the bulkhead crosspart. The majority of this improves traveler well-being. For execution purposes, the safeguard mounts, pivot mounts and backside individuals are built of bite-the-dust cast or produced aluminum, while all body boards short the front and back guards are likewise produced using aluminum to shave weight. Altogether, 37% of the Taycan is made of aluminum. The Taycan utilizes another battery electric drivetrain comprising of a perpetual attractive synchronous engine on every pivot, giving the Taycan all-wheel drive. In advance, control is steered to the wheels through a solitary speed gearbox. At the back, push goes through a 2-speed transmission with a short first apparatus giving greatest increasing speed execution and a long proportion second conveying top speed and effectiveness. Power originates from a 93.4 kWh lithium particle battery pack that serves as a basic frame segment and keeps the focal point of gravity low. The outcomes are great. The 2020 Porsche Taycan Turbo puts out 670 drive and 626 pound-feet of torque. Because of a 2.5-second overboost period, Porsche gauges the Taycan will hurry to 60 miles per hour in 3 seconds level, and spread the quarter mile in 11.1 seconds. In Taycan Turbo S structure, control increments to 750 torque and 774 pound-feet during overboost, for a 0 to 60 miles per hour time of 2.6 seconds and a quarter mile keep running of 10.8 seconds, as indicated by Porsche. The two models top out at 162 miles per hour. The terrifically significant driving extent relies upon how hard the Taycan is driven, and what mode it's driven in. A range setting puts the powertrain in a vitality-tasting setting with an interest-based, two-wheel drive mode that decouples the back hub. Then again, the most exhibition-centered Sport Plus conveys max capacity to each of the four wheels. A US spec EPA range gauge isn't yet accessible, However, Porsche's own WLTP-based test engages 279 miles of driving extent for the Turbo, and 256 miles for the Turbo S. Similarly as with all other WLTP to EPA changes, there's no exact method to decipher them, yet note the US numbers will probably be marginally lower than these primer evaluations. Porsche built up a 800-volt charging framework explicitly for the Taycan. With it, Porsche says squeezing the battery pack from a 5% condition of charge to 80% takes simply 22.5 minutes in perfect circumstances, with the DC quick charger offering 270 kilowatts of intensity. Charge times are reliant on climate conditions and foundation, yet Porsche has found a way to address the two issues. To lessen charge times in both hot and cold temperatures, the battery can be thermally preconditioned utilizing a charging organizer. Proprietors essentially need to set a flight time in the organizer, and the vehicle will naturally warm or cool the battery for ideal charging times. Helping address roadside framework issues, Porsche has collaborated up with Electrify America, which right now has 268 charging stations in the US. An extra 160 are under development, with plans calling for 600 elite charging stations being operational along expressways before the part of the bargain. Each Taycan sold in the US will accompany a free initial 30 minutes of charge time for a long time at Electrify America areas. Likewise, all Porsche vendors will offer charge focuses, and a Porsche charging service application will help locate some other charge focuses, giving data, for example, control level, connector types and number of open fittings. At home, where Porsche anticipates that 80–90% of charging to happen, the organization is offering a charging dock and versatile charger associated with the 9.6 kilowatt connector that will squeeze up the Taycan in 11 hours. With an EV being the greatest power-devouring thing on a house's capacity framework, Porsche likewise built up a Vitality Chief that can be introduced in a home's electrical switch. It's fit for dealing with the house's capacity stream, giving expense-improving charging, utilizing sun-based power and giving power outage security by lessening the charge to the vehicle if either family unit apparatuses, for example, ice chests or dryers, turn on and surpass the breaker's maximum power limit. Power is nothing without control, and the Taycan positively has it, as demonstrated by the previously mentioned Nürburgring lap record. Improving reflexes of the more than 5,000 pound vehicle is the stiffest body to support a Porsche creation vehicle to date, a super wide track, focus of gravity that is lower than a 911 GT3, and air suspension, completely factor all-wheel drive framework, torque vectoring back differential and snappier footing control reflexes. To hone things further, back pivot guiding will be standard on the Turbo S and discretionary on Turbo models, while a variable anti-roll bar will likewise be advertised. To execute speed, the Turbo utilizes 10-cylinder calipers clenching down on 16.3-inch brake rotors in advance, and 4-cylinder clampers with 14.3-inch rotors at the back. The Turbo S is redesigned with somewhat greater, 16.5-inch carbon-fired circles in front and 16.1-inch plates out back. Being a battery electric vehicle, the Taycan features pedal lift-off brake vitality recovery with various modes, running from off for unadulterated drifting and all-out that Porsche says covers 90% of halting occasions and diminishes brake wear. Heading inside, the 911 rouse lodges just planned, with a 16.8-inch, 4-mode, advanced instrument group involving the most elevated purpose of the dash. Lodge trim contributions will incorporate standard calfskins and woods, yet additionally incorporate maintainable choices, for example, normally tan cowhide and even leatherette for clients who need a bovine cover-up-free condition. All Taycans will accompany glass rooftop giving 100% UV assurance because of a mix of dull glass tint and a low-E covering to keep things light and breezy inside. Talking about air, the atmosphere controls are completely advanced, which means you even control the course of the vents through a control board in a touchscreen. 2 modes are pre-arranged for immediate and backhanded wind stream, while an individual setting can give proprietors a chance to adjust vent settings just as they would prefer. A 2-zone atmosphere framework is standard, however a 4-zone arrangement is accessible, giving backseat inhabitants a 5.9-inch screen to control their half. Another infotainment framework makes a big appearance in the Taycan, with a 10.9-inch focus touchscreen offering route with constant traffic, voice directions, Apple CarPlay and the principal full coordination of Apple Music in a vehicle. To play tunes, Bose and Burmester sound frameworks will be offered and will be fit for playing Apple Digital Masters records for studio-quality sound from a library that incorporates in excess of 50 million melodies. Another intriguing Taycan infotainment wrinkle is the accessibility of an extra 10.9-inch touchscreen for travelers. The generally $1,100 alternative empowers travelers to look for music and enter goals or waypoints autonomous of the inside screen. The 2020 Porsche Taycan Turbo and Turbo S will touch base in vendors in the not-so-distant future, with evaluating starting at $150,900 for the Turbo and $185,000 for the Turbo S on the off chance that you hold a vehicle now. The two figures do exclude $1,350 for goal. At the point when the vehicle authoritatively dispatches, the beginning sticker price for the Turbo will increment to $153,310 and the Turbo S to $187,610. While Porsche authorities won't yet affirm if less powerful forms of the Taycan are in the pipeline, no one has inside and out denied this reality, either. Based on the various emphases of each other Porsche model underway, it's almost certain that more Taycan models are en route. What we do know, however, is a creation vehicle dependent on the Mission E-Cross Turismo idea will hit showrooms before the part of the bargain.